Hello again. Welcome to part 2 of cloning the Google homepage as to practice and solidify our HTML and CSS skills. If you didn't see the part 1, the link will be in the description and probably somewhere here in this video. I'm Felipe Perin from Frontend Road, and my goal here is to help you find your first job as a front-end developer. As I think now the links and also the header, at least for now, they are ready. Let's move on to the footer. And the footer, if we see here, first thing we need to notice, it's the different background color. So let's check which background color is being used. And for here, we can see if we search really here in the inspection, everything, we find this one. So we're going to bring this color to the footer. I'm going to see here background color. Up, this one, it's a light gray. But I see also another one. I think I saw here border. It's the border. Okay. So the interesting enough, it used even a different color than the links. This one, for me, it's almost imperceptible, if at all. But let's keep this in mind then, because we have this color for, and I'm going to put it here for now, which is the color of the Belgian, of the country here. And we also have this color, this border, being the border button of the section. So I'm going to leave it here as well. Now we can work with them. Let's come back to our page. Fresh. Okay, here's our background color as expected. And let's put then these colors. The border, it needs to be done in this article, right? No, in this section, sorry. Because this one or this one, if you want a border bottom in this one or a border top in this one, doesn't matter much. You could also say that you want to add the border to the first section of the footer. What could be nice in this case? Let's do that. Footer section, and here it's first child. So the first child of the footer section will have a border button of this. See here? Yeah, it works fine. And also here, it will have a color of this one, which I think it's color Google uses across all of its page. So let's make sure here. It's imperceptible to me, maybe it's for you, but not for me. And I say that because I see here from Google web page, I see this. So the color, it's being overwritten here erroneously, to be fairly honest, because you don't need to override the color that is already being set by the body. So instead of bringing this to the footer, I'm going to bring this to our body. And what we need to do here is our variables. They're starting to get a bit out of control here, our colors and all. So what I'm going to do here then is color text, just a base color text, and bring this value here, replacing, of course, the one here. Also, we have this one, which we'll call the color links, content links, or language links, a bit more precise to me. Now, of course, again, for colors language links. The footer, as it's very specific to the footer itself, I'd say we could define here color. I'm thinking. I'm going to say yeah, color background. And now here I'm going to say a var color background because we could say you understand the dilemma here because this color may be used in other parts of the website, not in this case, but it could be. But it's a color that's just for the footer. So it's a specific one used by the footer. So that's why I'm going to say and let it here. No specific or really strong argument about this one, okay? Now, this one, however, I'm going to call it color divider. Because this one clearly could be used in other places of the system. The color that's used to divide sections. And last one here, the color of the links, of course. So color links link. Grab it and add it. Always refreshing the page, making sure everything works just fine. That's good. Before we move on, I want to commit all of this. So let me check how much you have. I have these two files, of course, the only change we did. I'm going to add all of them and also commit same message of first style for header, footer, and links. No need to push it right now, but at least they're committed. Have a version that it stops exactly where we are working right now. Because now I want to fix the positioning here in the footer and also of the content. We start with the footer as it's the smaller part. And this section by itself, it's almost perfect. The only thing we need is to add a bit of spacing of this paragraph from the beginning of the section itself. Here, let's check which space it's being used. This space is, as you see here, if we spec 30 pixels. So let's put 30 pixels here in our section, this paragraph. So here, let's say class, country, oh, that was hard to. And now the country inside the footer and have a padding of 0. No, not a padding in this case. For us, it's a margin of 30 pixels. And now, I'm refreshing the wrong page. Yeah, we have it here, but it broke. Why it broke? Because we removed the margin that was on top, which gave the correct height to it. So we need to set or the margin again, which I don't recommend, or we make the height of this section correct and then vertically align this one, which is a much better solution for me. So let's do that right away and see first what is the height precisely of this section. I suppose it will be half, right? But just to make sure, here we have 17 pixels with 15 of padding on each side. So we have a total of 30 plus 17, 47. And in this one, the second area, we have a 46, so 47, 46. That seems fair. And if we see what we set it here, a 94. So 47, 46 doesn't match precisely this. And why is that? It's because of this 1 pixel of the border. So 47 plus 46 will bring us to 93 plus this 1 pixel. As you can see, Google is very precise in the spacings that they use. Let's do that as well. First here, I'm going to just see this extra info, maybe container section, the section here. I'm going to add this an extra info. And also for this section, I'm going to say the links section. The link section, as we saw, has a height of 46 pixels, while the extra info section, let's bring it here, extra info section has a height of 47 pixels, really precise again. And what we need to do now here is this rule needs to pay attention. It's exactly this rule. So I'm going to replace this here and remove this rule because this rule is more efficient and is also cleaner. What we need to do next, let me remove this space, not needed, is that the country is only inside the extra info section. And I'm going to also, of course, put this style here. However, I would still now then remove this one, this whole style, in favor of using a padding here. Because if we look how it is right now, let's come back to our page. We have the margin on the left, on the right, but if we want to add more paragraphs here or later on more links or something, they will behave weirdly. So let's give the padding to the section as it will be a better solution overall. I'm going to then add a here, of course, so a padding of 0 and 30 pixels in this case. So I can now remove this. And also really important, make sure whenever you're doing this kind of stuff to remove also this class because it's not necessary anymore and avoid this dead code. What we need to do as well, of course, it's a display flex, align items to the center. If we refresh now our page, our paragraph should be vertically aligned and with a spacing from the left. That sounds better. Now let's fix this other section here of our footer. And before we do any code, I just want to check something here because these two, how is it separated? Let me understand a bit better. We have one div, okay, have two divs, and they are with a flex, as you can see here. You can even see written here, flex, and now then use a space evenly. It's how it's being used. And you already see that they are using a media query. So that's why we see the behavior of whenever we grow for them to be on go to each side. So if what they use is if it's max width of 1200 pixels, we will do it space evenly. If not, we're going to use a space between. That sounds fair to me. Let's get to it. What we're going to do then is this link section will become a flex container, and these two will become flex items. So let's get to it. Flex link section will be display. Let me put it before. I always like to put the display in the beginning, as I should have done here. Like this. Seems better. Yes, display flex. And now here we have justify content. It was it was a space between evenly. It was evenly. And then in the media query, here, so media screen and which one they used? It was 1200. 1200, yes. So, and max width of 1200. We're going to say that the link section is going to have a justified content of space around between. But I also saw some padding. So I see here some padding of 20 pixels on each side. So let's add it already. So have a padding of 0, 20 pixels. And why not align items to the center to have them vertically aligned. Let's see how this goes. Coming back to our page and refreshing, it looks nice. They have here, okay, there are one on each side. We see that I wrote something wrong. I forgot to put pixels. I just put it 20, so I forgot to put pixels. Now, yes, now they have the spacing on the left and right. And I see that the space evenly is not being used in favor of the space between. If I fresh. Okay, but the only problem is that I use them wrongly. It should be the other way around, but that's okay. We can fix that easily. So here's the space between, and here's space evenly. If you saw that, please don't judge me. It happens all the time, okay? Now, yes, we have here, they are centered, and now they are back on each side. And why it's important not just use like text align center and stuff like this, it's because now, if we reduce this page enough, look what the behavior we have here. they are going to break one another. But with the flex, if we just use here now a flex wrap, and say wrap, we make sure that each of the items will have their own line in case they need, given their size. And now this looks how the page of Google looks if we reduce the size a lot. Well, here, not that much. But we, of course, we need to add the spaces between them. But overall, the behavior of the section itself, it's already there. The paddings, again, 15 pixels for each, so they're quite big actually, this padding. Let's add this padding there to our links. Whereas here, let's just add here our flex wrap, so we don't miss it. And the links themselves, so link section. We already have the class of the link, we can do that. So link section, link. Any link inside this link section will have a padding of 0, 15 pixels. It still looks a bit weird though, because they are too squeezed. Let's see how Google one works exactly again. And now, okay, we see here that the footer becomes taller if they need to go below it. So for that, we need to set a mean height to these divs here, which for us, it's our sections or articles, or even the link section. No, it's the articles. So let's call here then a links group. It's not a section, it's just a group. Yes, and here links group. And now the links section, links group, they will need to have a mean height of, I'm saying, the same height as here, 46 pixels. And this can break some stuff. Why is that? Let's come back here to our page, refresh, because now we set a specific height for the footer, as you see here, but this height is not enough to show these sections now that need to grow. So what we could do here is to set a mean height for the footer. Okay, it still doesn't work, I know, but it's one of the first aspects we need to do, because it will always be at least 94 pixels. So let's go back here and set this on our code. So this becomes a mean height. And now, if we set this section will always have this height, at least for us. And now if we set the link section to have a mean height of 46 as well, so it will always have at least this, refresh now, it should be able to grow to what it's needed. So we're defining the minimum height that this footer needs to have, but we allow it to grow at least a bit. And now we need to set this vertical align for inside the links group themselves, because this vertical align, where is it? Align items here, center, it's not doing anything anymore. As their children, so these two articles, are taking their whole height anyway. So we're going to remove this from here and call this links group as a display flex. And now align items center. For refresh, it looks quite similar to the one on Google. What I see mostly different here is the font that's being used, but we're going to get to that.